The most dangerous place you'll ever be trapped in is your own mind, not a prison made of bars, but of beliefs, thoughts that whisper you're not enough, ideas that chain you to doubt, fear, and failure before you ever take your first step. But here's the truth: no one told you those thoughts. They're not you, and today we're going to silence them. We're not managing negative thinking anymore. We're going to kill it for good, because the power you've been waiting for isn't coming, it's already inside you. It just needs to be unleashed. Let me tell you something that will shift your entire relationship with your thoughts. Not everything you think is true. I know that might sound obvious on the surface, but if you really grasp that and live by it, it will change your life. Because we walk around every day treating our thoughts like facts, especially the negative ones. You have a thought that says, "I'm not good enough." And without even questioning it, you believe it, you feel it, you embody it. And before long, that thought isn't just in your head, it's dictating your choices, your energy, your confidence, and ultimately, your results. But here's the truth: that voice in your head that constantly critiques you, doubts you, tells you you'll fail, that voice is not some divine authority. It's not a prophet. It's not even original. It's a loop, a programmed voice made of fear, memory, and old conditioning. It's noise, and just because it's loud doesn't mean it's right. You have to start recognizing the lie when it shows up. Most negative thoughts are fear in disguise. They're your brain trying to protect you, keep you small, safe, unexposed. Your mind is wired to avoid pain, so the moment you start stepping into something that might stretch you, something that might actually change your life, your thoughts fire off every warning it can. What if I mess up? What if they laugh? What if I'm not good enough? But those aren't warnings, they're illusions, and if you're not careful, they become the prison that keeps you from your potential. You weren't born with those thoughts. No one shows up on this planet with self-doubt and shame hardwired into their brain. You learned them somewhere along the way. Someone or something made you feel small. Maybe it was school, maybe it was rejection, maybe it was 1,000 little comments that chipped away at your worth. And eventually, those outside voices became your internal script. But that script can be rewritten. The first step is calling it out. What it is: a lie. You see, the problem is not that we have negative thoughts. Everyone does. The problem is that we identify with them. We say, "I'm anxious." Instead of "I'm feeling anxious," we say, "I'm not good enough." Instead of, "I'm having a thought that I'm not good enough." One of those keeps you stuck. The other gives you power, because the moment you can step back and observe a thought instead of becoming it, you've already won. You've taken back control. Try it. The next time your mind tells you you're not capable, say this out loud: "That's just a thought, not a truth." And watch what happens. You'll feel a shift, maybe not a big one at first, but a real one. The distance between you and your thought creates space, and in that space, you have a choice. That's where freedom lives. And let me be clear, this isn't about toxic positivity. It's not about pretending everything's great when it's not. It's about grounding yourself in truth, not fear. It's about realizing that you can acknowledge what's hard without bowing to it. That just because your mind screams something doesn't mean you have to obey it. You get to decide which thoughts get to stay and which ones get evicted. And here's where it gets powerful. Once you stop believing the lies, once you stop treating every anxious, self-doubting thought like gospel, you start to get access to something else, your real voice. The one that says, "I've got this." The one that remembers your strength. One that's been buried under years of mental clutter, but is still there, waiting. You don't need to build confidence from scratch. You need to uncover it. Your thoughts are not facts, they're habits. And just like any habit, they can be changed. You have to train your mind to serve you, not sabotage you. That means catching the lie when it shows up, standing in your truth, and reminding yourself every single day, "I am not my thoughts. I am the one who decides what I believe." Because when you stop believing the lie, you stop living like one. That voice in your head that tells you you're not enough, not ready, not worthy, it doesn't need to be louder than it already is. It's not there to empower you. It's there to drain you, to keep you hesitant, uncertain, stuck in the same cycle of inaction. But here's the truth. You've been feeding that voice, giving it energy, giving it your attention, giving it your belief. And just like anything you feed, it grows. You want to kill that negative thinking. You have to starve the voice that drains you. Every time you entertain the thought that you'll fail, that you'll embarrass yourself, that you don't measure up, you're putting fuel in the wrong fire. You're choosing to nurture what weakens you instead of what strengthens you. And most of the time, it's unconscious. That voice becomes background noise, a constant whisper of doubt that you don't even notice anymore, but it's shaping how you walk, how you speak, how you show up in the world. It's subtle, but it's deadly. So the shift starts with awareness. You can't starve something you haven't even recognized. There, you've got to catch it in the act. The moment it creeps in with, "You'll never be good at this," or "They're not going to take you seriously." Pause, catch it, hear it, call it out. Don't just let it pass, because the more aware you become of that draining voice, the easier it is to silence it. But awareness alone isn't enough. Now comes the hard part. You have to stop feeding it, and that means making a conscious decision every single day to redirect your attention, to take your energy away from doubt and redirect it toward action, even if that action is small. That voice survived on your inaction. Every time you listen to it and pull back, it gets stronger, but every time you move forward despite it, it weakens. Think of it like this. Your mind is a garden, and every thought is a seed. If you keep watering the weeds, they'll choke out the good. But if you start starving weeds, if you stop giving energy to what drains you, the flowers finally get space to grow. You don't need to fight the negative voice. You don't need to argue with it or debate it. Just ignore it. Don't engage. Don't give it a platform. Focus on building what actually supports your growth. And yes, that takes time. It takes repetition. But eventually the voice gets quieter. It loses its grip because you've stopped being its audience. You've stopped giving it a reason to speak. You've shown it that you're too focused, too grounded, too driven to listen anymore. Now let me be clear. Starving the voice doesn't mean pretending it's not there. This isn't about denial. It's about discipline. It's about saying, "I hear you, but I don't serve you." That voice wants your surrender. You give it strength by listening to it. But the moment you withhold your belief, the moment you refuse to let it dictate your actions, you starve it of the power it craves. And don't wait until you feel confident to do this. Don't wait for a day when that voice disappears completely. That day may never come. What matters is that you act anyway. You take the shot anyway. You speak up anyway. You keep moving forward anyway. Because every time you do, you take the power back. You train your brain to respond to challenge with strength, not retreat. And that's how you kill the cycle. The voice that drains you only wins if you keep feeding it. Take away its food, your fear, your focus, your energy, and it starves. Let it wither while you grow. Let it fade while you rise. You've listened to it long enough. It's time to listen to the voice that lifts you. Your words are not just sounds you throw into the world, they are seeds. And depending on what kind of seeds you're planting, you either grow weeds of self, doubt, or forests of power. You want to kill your negative thinking. Then you need to start speaking what you want to believe, not just what you feel in the moment, and keep speaking it until your mind has no choice but to align with it. Most people wait until they believe something before they give themselves permission to say it. They wait to feel confident before they say, "I'm strong." They wait to see results before they say, "I'm capable." But that's not how it works. The belief comes after the declaration. The mind follows your words. Speak it first, believe it second. When you say, I'm not good enough, your body hears you, your spirit hears you, your future hears you, and it bends accordingly. That's how powerful words are. They create your experience. You might think you're just describing your life, but really you're directing it. The voice in your head already tells you all the ways you're not enough. Why would you add your own voice to the choir? You've got to flip the script. Start saying what you need to believe, what you want to be true, even if you're not there yet. That's not lying to yourself, that's leading yourself. Say it until it feels awkward. Say it until your brain pushes back. Say it until it becomes less strange, less foreign. Say it until your nervous system stops flinching at the sound of your own power. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am worthy of great things. I am built to endure. These aren't just affirmations, they are anchors. They hold you steady when everything else is pulling at your strength. And yes, in the beginning, your mind will argue. It'll say, no, you're not. Look at your past. Look at your flaws. But speak it anyway. You're not speaking to who you've been, you're speaking to who you're becoming. You are training your brain to build a new default setting. Every declaration chips away at the old story. Let me ask you something. How long have you been speaking from your pain, from your fear, from your limitations, and where has that gotten you? If your self-talk has been repeating the same script for years, and it's only made you feel smaller, more hesitant, more lost, it's time to write a new one. Because here's the truth, you are always building belief. The only question is, which belief are you building? Every time you say, I can't, that's a brick in the wall. Every time you say, I'm not good at this, that's another layer. But every time you say, I'm figuring it out, even if you haven't yet, that's a door, that's a window, that's a breath of air in a room that's been locked for too long. And this isn't just about mindset. It's about momentum. When you speak power, you move differently, you hold your head higher, you take action sooner, you recover faster. You become someone who isn't just waiting for belief to magically appear. You become the kind of person who builds it, brick by brick, word by word. You want to kill negative thinking, drown it out with truth, with vision, with strength, even if it's quiet at first, even if it feels like a whisper. Over time, that whisper becomes a roar, but only if you keep speaking. Stop waiting for permission to be powerful. Give it to yourself with your words. Speak it not once, but daily, hourly, until your mind has no choice but to catch up, until your actions fall in line, until your past no longer feels like proof and your future becomes the evidence. Because if you don't speak your power, the world will hand you a script, and that script will be built on fear, doubt, and limitation. Rip it up, write your own. Say it now, say it again. Say it until your reality starts to match it. Speak it until you believe it, because belief listens to repetition. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the strength of your patterns. And the patterns that dominate your thinking will define your entire life. If you want to kill your negative thinking, you can't just tear it down once and hope it stays gone. You have to train a new pattern. You have to rewire the circuit, and that takes reps, relentless, intentional, unapologetic reps. Every time you have a negative thought and you replace it with one that's useful, empowering, focused, that's a rep. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into old doubt and you interrupt it with a breath, a mantra, an action, that's a rep. And just like any muscle, the more you train it, the stronger it gets. But here's the part most people miss. Your negative thinking is already a pattern. You've just done so many reps of it that it runs on autopilot. So you have to be just as intentional, just as repetitive, just as disciplined about building the opposite. That means you don't just think a powerful thought once. You asterisk drill asterisk it, you rehearse it, you reinforce it until your brain can't help but go there first. That's how you rewire yourself, not by wishing, by training. Think of your mind like a trail in a forest. The path you've walked the most is clear, fast, familiar. That's the negative loop. But the trail you asterisk want asterisk to walk is overgrown, unfamiliar, slower. So you start walking it. It's awkward at first. You stumble. You second guess, but every time you walk it, every time you redirect your focus, that trail gets clearer, and the old one, it starts to fade. Rewiring isn't a one-time decision. It's a lifestyle. It's showing up even when it feels like it's not working. Especially then, that's where most people quit. They think, why do I still feel this way? Why is the fear still here, the doubt, the noise? Because the old path is still there. But that doesn't mean the new one isn't forming. You just haven't put in enough reps yet. You don't get strong from one workout. You get strong from consistency. You don't break a mental habit with one positive thought. You break it by repeating that thought until it starts to feel like the truth. It's not about intensity, it's about repetition. You want to think clearly, confidently, powerfully, then you've got to rehearse it like it's a performance every single day, because your mind isn't a fixed system, it's programmable. And you are the coder, you are the trainer, you are the one deciding what runs in the background of your thoughts. But here's the kicker, it won't feel natural at first. You'll feel like you're faking it. Like you're forcing it. That's normal, that's part of the rewire. The old pattern wants to survive. It's going to resist. It's going to fight. So don't take resistance as a sign to stop. Take it as a sign you're doing it right. You're digging up the old and laying down the new. That always stirs things up. This is about discipline, not mood. It's about showing up to train your mind the way you would train your body if your life depended on it. Because it asterisk does asterisk. You train peace, you train focus, you train strength, not once, not for a week, daily on repeat, until it stops being practice and starts being your baseline. And you don't wait for the storm to pass to start training. You train in the storm. You don't wait for the negative thoughts to disappear. You train in the presence of them. That's real mastery, not silence of the noise, but strength in spite of it. You can't think your way into a new identity. You asterisk train asterisk your way into it by showing up, by choosing thoughts that serve you, by choosing actions that reflect those thoughts, and then doing it again tomorrow. That's how the brain rewires. That's how your identity rewrites. So ask yourself, what thoughts do you need to rep until they become second nature? What truths do you need to practice until they feel real? What focus do you need to return to again and again, no matter how many times you drift? You don't break negative thinking with hope, you break it with habit. This is your gym now, your thoughts are your weight set, and every rep counts.